Have you ever heard of the Caro Kann defense in chess? Well, in this video we're gonna take a look at the advanced variation. It starts with e4, c6, d4, d5, and now the move e5 enters the advanced variation. You could either go with the Botvinnik's defense and the Botvinnik's variation with the move c5, but in today's video we're mainly gonna take a look at the move bishop to f5. Here white has three options. They can either attack your bishop with the move h4, they can bring their knights out, or they can trade your bishop on d3. So what happens if they try to bring their knights out? So here you play e6, trying to develop your bishop, and even play the move c5, breaking the center. So we did that. After they try to trade our bishop, we really want to trade the bishop, because if they ever take, I mean, there is some variation where you play something like this, and it's completely fine. But you never want to play a random move, because if they take, suddenly you have a weak center with with an isolated pawn, and then this pawn, I mean, you could connect it with the other ones, but it's still pretty weak. So we always want to trade. Oops. So they take back. We play like this. They're attacking our bishop, so we have to go for the queen trade. If they take back, you can either take with the pawn, opening up the rook, or even take with the bishop. And then there is an interesting sequence here where you can sacrifice the knight for a fork, and you take back. And here you have the open file, you have these strong rooks, and you're looking to play something like rook to d5, and then rook to c5, and trying to attack the pawn, bring your king, and the position is actually very good. And after you brought your king, if they try to defend it with the move f4, or if you try to defend the pawn, you can even go to the g4 square, attacking this pawn, and that is a major weakness over the long term, and then you are gonna have a comfortable position winning this endgame. So what happens if they bring their bishop out, trying to trade the bishops? Well, first you're gonna take, and now play the move e6. E6 is a very crucial move, because if you do any other random move, you have to go here, and even if you can take, you're gonna bring the knight, and you have massive weaknesses on the light squares here, and you don't really want that. So you play the move e6 yourself, and then try to break open the center. You can directly take, and there is another variation with the check here. They're trying to collect your bishop, so you have to block with the knight here, but they take the pawn here. After something like this, you take the pawn in the center, but they have then this check, and you have to come back. Well, and this variation, I mean, it's still a playable variation. It is still pretty fine, but I prefer to bring the knight out first, blocking any other checks, and then taking afterwards. If they trade, they cannot trade with this. They cannot take with the queen, because this is a fork. So they have to take with the pawn. You bring your knight around, trade the queens, and now you see they have a weakness there. So so you gotta play for that weakness later on. And after something like this, you can either go this, bring your king again, or you can even go something like knight here, trying to trade everything down. And well, even if this position is kind of drawish, Stockfish still says you have some chances to win. Like in this position, you are 0.5, so it's completely fine for you. What happens if they try to attack your bishop like this? Well, in that case, you're gonna go h5, stopping them, stopping any other attacks. Because if you go e6 like in any other variation, you're suddenly getting your bishop trapped, and there is nowhere to go, and you have to sacrifice either for this pawn or for this pawn, and from there on it's a pretty hard game, and in higher ratings you're never gonna win the game. So you gotta take care. You can either play the move h5, creating the space for your bishop and actually stopping the move g4, or there's also some variation with the move g6, just bringing your bishop back. But personally, I don't like this kind of variations, because white kind of gets way too much space on this side of the board, and it's pretty interesting to win this position. And even though Starkfish says that you're fine, white is going to castle long and start the pawn attack over here, and it's gonna be pretty hard to defend. So that's why I recommend you going with the move h5 directly, stopping any other attacks, and from there on you're just gonna play normally, developing your knight, taking in the center. You can even go queen here, or you can go knight here first, attacking the pawn. They're gonna defend it with g3. And now, even though we're actually out of the main line so long ago, this is some kind of an example how to play the middle game and how to come into a winning endgame. Well, this position with perfect play is completely a draw, but it's still a comfortable position to play, and you still have the open fire with the second rank. If they ever try to trade you, I mean, you could even trade. They take back and then you go trade again because Starkfish says that this is an equal position and it's completely a draw. But you can even wait for them to trade you in this case, like make a random move, and after they take, you have the open file, and suddenly you are the one winning. Well, this was the Karo Khan defense. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and check the description, join my Discord because I'm launching a cheap course soon. So, good luck.